Row, 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 it's me, Rocky Riggedy Richard. And in this video, of course, I'll just do a little bit of a reaction to this right here. Shang-Chi and Mr. Negative. I mean, look, these were pretty much leaked, confirmed-ish back a little while ago, but we haven't seen them in the flesh or in the build. And man, they are looking pretty cool. So yeah, the design does look sick from a point of like an animation perspective. I've got a video coming out a little bit later on that just like talks about this a bit more. So do prepare yourself for that. I'm not a massive fan of the look of Shang-Chi, but from an animations perspective and what I've seen in general, I've got serious Tekken vibes. So if anybody's played Tekken, I don't know, you probably have that same kind of thought looking at this, like just a battle stance of Shang-Chi. The design, it just, yeah, I'm just getting serious Tekken vibes, a little bit Mortal Kombat type vibes, but more so with Tekken because it's more of a fighting game or virtual fighter with some of the character builds, which the MCOC is kind of like a Marvel version of. Anyway, I digress. It's pretty amazing motion comic this month that Kabam have put out, and we're just going to like have a look at the animations in a minute. But yeah, I just want to praise Kabam in the way that they've kind of presented this motion comic. It is pretty amazing. Link is in the description down below. But yeah, man, this gameplay is something to behold. So as usual, they do the kind of like the gumph there. You see front and center Shang-Chi. But yeah, the movement and what the characters do, like, I don't know what Mr. Negative type like abilities that are going on the enemy, but man, it's pretty cool. What the heck is that? There's a huge amount of damage there from the SP3 of Shang-Chi. Let's just kind of like, let's put that there. Let's like rotate it back a little bit. I'm going to have to slow-mo some of these movements because just look at that. From a special attack there, that was pretty impressive. But then when it comes to the SP3, it's the full finish off. But that, what is to be assumed as being, what, like an SP1 or SP2 there? Does see some like great amount of damage. Was that like a 20k? Was that a 20k then? I'm just have to like slow this down here. Or maybe it's 2k. Because these are lower champions. But, oh. No, it's 2k. But because they're a lot lower, I can imagine this is the ability that gives a bit of more damage. You don't get to see anything like what Shang-Chi... Well, I assume these are positive effects towards the top right-hand corner. Or there could be some effects that Mr. Negative puts on there. But I assume these are actually to do with Shang-Chi. So there must be something of ability enhancement. So yeah, more on that, more on Shang-Chi a bit later on. But yeah, I mean, we can just talk about the kind of the movements, the animations, and the special attack animations, which Kabam always excel at, are just absolutely fantastic. The Mr. Negative, that's another thing to point out with Mr. Negative. He does have this, where is it? On the build of him, a kind of a tattoo. It's like a tattoo on the bracer, which I don't know if you can see right here. It's like a weird tattoo type stuff, but I mean, look, you know, it looks pretty cool. I was a bit concerned that this champion would look a little bit too much like Sunspot, and I think maybe that's the reason Kabam have opted for making him more of a waistcoat only version, because otherwise, you know, end up looking just too much like Sunspot for his own good. As I said, I'm a bit critical of the way that Shang-Chi is being put together, especially from like the looks perspective. I'll do more of a deep dive of that later on in another video. But I love this I can't remember what, it's like a pike type weaponry. I don't think it's called a pike. I think it's called something else, but it's a type of sword. The name will come to me at the most ridiculous time. I'll be in bed later on and just be like, oh yeah, it's that. So yeah, I'm just happy to see like some kind of like decent champions in the game. As I said, I'm not a massive fan of Shang-Chi, just from the costume perspective. The looks perspective, that's fine. The animations perspective, Kabam always hit it out of the park. It's just the choice of costume, which I just find it a little bit weird, especially because this costume, if anybody doesn't know, is actually a 2020, so this is a very, very recent costume design, and a lot of us may be familiar with the one that's just been put out as a trailer, but also the one that's got more of a, I think it's full red, with more of a chest area that is black. There's also another version with a black t-shirt, which also has like a dragon emblem on the front. So yeah, more on that a little bit later on, but this is just a quick reaction looking at this. I just think this looks amazing. This animation, the stances, and I'm really looking forward to having a look at the spotlight for these champions very, very soon, which I think drops today or maybe later on. But yeah, Shang-Chi, everybody. Just some good vibes with the animations and also Mr. Negative as well. Also, just before ending the video, you might notice that right at the end of it, there is a link to my beginner guide, my new player guide, which I'm just like, I'm really surprised at. It's kind of odd at times because I do spend a bit of time criticizing things that Kabam do. So I am like genuinely quite surprised in the kind of like most happiest way to see like my new player guide is right down there below. So so massive thank you to that for Kabam to do that. I didn't have to, but it was just like, it means a lot to me to see that, because I just kind of like go, oh right, are people really interested in this? And I've tried to kind of like focus more on this, especially this year, 2021, more spreadsheets, more guides, and that's the kind of the thing this year I want to try and do is like put more guides out there and work harder on spreadsheets and understanding stuff. And really kind of getting back to understanding champions' interaction with things. That's one of the big things of 2021. Grind guides I'm going to be working on as well. So yeah, I'm happily surprised by this. I'm glad to see that's a thing. So thank you for putting it in. Thank you everybody for supporting and being around, because that's the problem we've got nowadays with the channel, is that YouTube are being very difficult with getting info out to you. I got an email today about why is the side event broken on a video, and in the context is it's all about a video that I produced 3 weeks ago. So man, please come back to the channel. Like, please come back each and every day to see if there's fresh content. I've got people saying that even though they're subscribed, they're not getting videos. So make sure to support. Thank you.